Aparna Sen, Bharat Bala, Nasuruddin Shah. She today leads development and production of originals here at APV. You all have also met Rongita. She is our showrunner and creator of the Prime Original series, Four More Shots, Please. You all, of course, know her as the face of Pritish Nandi Communications. Sitting right next to her, we have Anu Menon. As you all know, she is the director of this show, and her previous work also includes films like London, Paris, New York, and Waiting. Devika has been a screenwriter for the Indian film industry for the past 15 years, and you have watched a number of her movies as well, such as The Ladies vs. Ricky Bell, Jab Tak Hai Jaan, Manorama, 6 Feet Under, and so many more. And Ishita, right over there, has written for over 500 episodes across several mainstream TV series and a number of films. So there you have it, that female force that has come together to put this show. So let's meet the fabulous ladies of the Prime Original. 4 more shots, please. Please put your hands together for Shayoni Gupta, Kirti Kulhari, Bani J, and Manvi Gagru. Give them both, all of them, a big round of applause. The fabulous, fearlessly female cast, all coming together, so excited to present to you their new labor of love. All right, and ladies and gentlemen of the press, joining our cast once again, let's have our fearlessly female creative crew come and join us onto the stage so that we can have all the women together for one photograph. All right, yeah. We'll also make sure that you get some more photographs at the end of the press conference, as we always do. Let's have the chairs also come onto the stage so that we can have a conversation with all the girls, and let's find out everything that went on behind the scenes and what was the thought behind it. All right, so let's take a seat. Let's have the cast over here on this chair. And ladies, please take a seat as well. So we already spoke to the creative crew, and we really asked them what was all the thought behind 4 more shots, please. So I think it's only fair that we start with the cast first, and then we'll again move on to our creative crew as well. So Shayoni, I'm going to start with you. Can we have the mics? Yeah. While I know that our ladies can be heard all the way to the end of the room, a mic is always good. Okay, so the question that I have is for you. This is not your first time working with Amazon Prime Video. And I know that you've also been on the other shows with them as well. So what was it like coming back again? Like a feeling of like coming back home?
It is actually the feeling of coming back home. And it's an internal joke that if nobody hires me, at least Amazon will. So, in fact, I had a great time associating with Amazon on Inside Edge, and it was very different, and it was a very different show because it was a world of men, which is the world of cricket, and there were only two women who were sort of not lost, but holding their ground, but struggling to hold their ground. Here it was walking into a women's loo, right? I mean, you're really comfortable, and associating with women. I've actually, Anu is my 13th woman director. Uh, and every single time, I'm just so amazed by the authenticity and the vulnerability and the power and strength that goes in the writing when a woman is writing it, and a woman is directing it, and a woman is running the show. And this was extremely different from Inside Edge, but honestly, I can't wait to watch the show and get back to shooting the next season because it really was, we had a ball. It was a party, really. Thank you.
It already looks like a lot of fun, so I'm sure once we do start watching it, we will get into that world. Bani, the character that you are playing over here, and so Umang is her name, right? And she seems like a very bindas, chilled out chick. I mean, I know a lot of us are very chilled out, and you are also in real life. Or would that, do you think there is like a similarity between how you are in real life and your character?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely related a lot with Umang as a character, and I think that's why I also just agreed to do the show when I read about her character. I mean, I didn't have any hesitations with it. I was like, yeah, let's just do this. There needs to be a character like this for mainstream Indian watching to be available. I was just like, there's no character like this. We haven't had one like this. We haven't had somebody who's even slightly known playing a character like this. You know, written by a female, about a female, telling the story from a female point of view. You guys are gonna get so sick of hearing this, but we want you to know our side of the story. So it's just really important, and I was just like, you know, I felt really up to playing it, and I would not have done it if I didn't think that I could do justice to it. So I just went in without any reservations whatsoever, because I was like, that is how I live my life, without any reservations whatsoever. I want to bring that to Umang as her character, and just, yeah, kick it in the balls, man. That's what I did.
As you just said in the trailer and told us as well. Kirti, for you, you're playing this, and it really does come across as a fiercely independent single parent.
Badass.
A badass? Is that what she gets called?
A lovable badass.
A lovable badass single parent. And what was it like for you to put yourself in that position? Put yourself in those shoes. I know that for all of us, all our characters don't have to be a reflection of our personality, and then we have to get into those shoes.
Firstly, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being a part of this very, very special day, and so thank you. Coming to my character of Anjana, playing a single parent who is extremely independent and who comes across as someone who knows what she's doing and who knows where she's heading in life. Firstly, I think just the fact that you're an actor, you don't. People ask you like, how did you play this or how did you play that? But I think that's a very basic answer to that is I'm an actor and I'm supposed to play anything and everything that comes my way. Of course, I'm not a parent myself. Of course, I'm not a single parent at all. So I just played it the way I would play any character. Yes, there was a child involved, but I personally feel I'm very good with kids. So for me, that thing towards kids comes to me very, very easily. And I don't know how how the makers could see that in me. She is going to be a good mother. Let's take her for Anjana. So I have still not figured that. Sorry? Hot mother. Okay. So I think you see what you see in terms of that's just one side of Anjana in terms of whatever you just called her, but there is this other side to her which is as vulnerable, as insecure, as complex, as and as flawed as any of us sitting here. So I had a great time exploring Anjana through Kirti and finding Kirti through Anjana. I think that's a very, that's how I would like to put it. And let's see what she finally looks like.
Let's hope that she finds her way home. Oh, okay. I haven't seen the show. Okay, Manvi, this is for you. And Siddhi's character, she comes across as young, vulnerable. I mean, this is just what I'm basing a little bit on what I saw. But what was it about her, that character, that attracted you to her? She's looking at you.
For one, I just wanted to be a part of this project. By hook or by crook, I wanted to, because it was just, I mean, again, I'm sorry for repeating it, but just so many women together in this time and age, and it's just such an exciting time to be working together, and it's that synergy that we felt on set, which I didn't know initially before getting in. I was hoping that would be there, and it was. So it was basically the project which attracted me to it. Besides that, then the names involved with the project, which is all these faces that you're seeing right next to me. And then about Siddhi and this, but this came in later, right? And then, of course, about Siddhi, what I found very exciting personally as an actor was that I had never played a character which was vulnerable, which was externally, overtly very subservient and, sorry? Innocent. No, I've played innocent characters before, but just, yes? I'm the
Hi, Mom, hi, Dad.
yes, a virginal character. And yeah, and her she's very, like, internally, she's very complex, I feel, as a character, Siddhi. And I just wanted to get into that, like, just jump into that psyche of all the complexities that she comes with. And that was really exciting for me. I think I might have overthought also in the process, but I'm hoping it shows. So, yeah.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, you've heard from the cast over here. And taking off on the previous conversation that we were having, just one quick question for each of you as well. Anu, when you came on board, were you always very clear that this would be a show about women?
I think the show has amazing men. I mean, and they, as you've seen, you've got a thing. So, I mean, I don't think it's about just being, women, but I think women and men have to coexist. So obviously, the protagonists are women. Yeah. So I think once you become a director, then you're telling a story. So I think to me, it was about, telling a story. And just what I also, I think, found very powerful was, the unapologetic nature of, storytelling. And to say it as it is. So there's no sort of euphemisms, there's no double meaning. It's, stuff we talk about in, when friends get together, with things that, we talk in the loo or when we get drunk. So in that sense, you wanted to capture the energy of friendship. So I think I just followed, and to be honest, I remember reading the script, and I remember reading the opening scene, and texting Rongita and saying, I'm like, you have to, get me on this. Because I enjoyed it so much, because it's so front-footed, fun, and so confident. And I think it's very, it was, as I've said that before, it was a great experience and very liberating to direct a show like this.
Thank you. Ishita, this one's for you. As a writer, how did you make sure that this show also steps apart from other shows in this genre?
I think this is, it is the most real and the closest to me that I have. It's like, it's a show after my heart. It is this is the closest to reality that it's ever gotten for me. I actually identify a lot with Siddhi's character and also a bit with Damini's character. And I'm sure that when you guys watch the show, you'll also relate to not just one, but more than one, maybe several, maybe all. So this stands apart because it wasn't like constructed writing. It was, the language was real, the banter was real. We tried for it to cut as close to the bone as possible, and like she said, there were no euphemisms. So yeah.
A realistic and a strong approach to each of the characters that
Absolutely.
we have. Thank you. And this one is for you, Aparna. Why did you choose to open 2019 with this show?
What better way to start the new year than to celebrate the spirit of womanhood, celebrate friendship, celebrate flaws, celebrate these women who are unapologetic, liberated, uninhibited, competitive, and have a mind.
2019 is going to be the year for women in cinema. I definitely think so.
Well begun.
Women
is half
everywhere.
done.
And that's why we've started it on that note. Rangita, which of the characters is that one character that you feel that you relate to? It doesn't mean it's your favorite. It just means that you relate to.
Apart from the Virgin, all of the others. Apart from that one. But genuinely, I think that's what Moitra also said. There are actually two Ishitas on this, so I'm going to call her Moitra. I think the beauty of it is that you're going to identify with each one of these girls on a different day. It depends on what mood you're watching this show in, at what time of the day, at what time of the night, and you're going to want to be these girls. For me, that was it. I'm living vicariously through them.
As sometimes we do through a lot of characters that we do see on TV. And Devika, last one for you. What was one of the most memorable experience, or like the most memorable scene, I guess without giving too much away as well? But something that, that moment that happened when you were writing it and you were like, yes, we're on the right road. You don't have to get into the details of the scene, because obviously we don't want to take away from anything.
I think as a writer, there are some scenes which, when you're writing them, you don't even realize where they're going, because you're letting them take you with them on that ride, and the characters are taking you on that journey. So it wasn't just one scene. It was quite a few scenes where, because we were putting so much of ourselves into it, There's quite a few scenes where, I would write it, and then I would, later turn to my husband and say, by the way, I've put a little bit of our life in here, and you're gonna see it. And so it wasn't just one scene. It was a lot of scenes where, you just sit back and say, this, like Ishita was saying, you finally, I was finally getting a chance to put my life, my friends' lives, experiences, people that you've met, people that you know, people that you love, right there.
That's a lovely note for us to end that Q&A with.
I just want to add something.
Sure.
And since Devika was the last person you asked the question to,
yeah.
We all keep saying we have to give more importance to writing, but we don't do enough about it. And I think everything that Amazon sort of has backed and sort of created till now has had a foundation of really good writing. And I have to say this, the first time I was reading the script, I could not, Rangita had sent it to me, I could not put the script down. I was feeling the emotions exactly, Pat, as was on paper, and it was exhilarating. And I would have to say that Devika and Ishita, it's one of the best, most translucent, fluid scripts I have ever read in my life. And thank you for giving us that material. Thank you.
You can keep that, sorry. There's only that many mics I can hold right now. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we've heard from all the women, and you might have some questions. We're going to open the floor, but before I do that, once again, can I please invite Mr. Pritish Nandi, if you can come and join us onto this stage, and Mr. Vijay Subramaniam, both of you. Let's have the men come once again, because we, of course, want the entire team together of 4 more shots, please. So while they say their hi hellos, ladies and gentlemen, this is that moment where we will, if you have any questions for our cast and crew, I'm sure what you could do is raise your hand if you have a question, and then we will give you an opportunity to ask the question as well. Would be wonderful if you also introduced yourself and told us which publication you're from. So if you have, I think I asked way too many questions. Sometimes this is also what happens. But I know that all of you will have something to ask over there. So to the gentleman over there, I know that it's a little dark in the audience, but I'll let you know where the question's coming from every time. So could you raise your hand once more? Yes, please.
How important was it to have this story told from a female's point of view?
Who are you directing the question to?
The director.
Okay, so to Anu.
Anu, how important was it for the story to be told from a female's or a women point of view?
I think, the female narrative is finally gaining ground. For a longest time, we saw, the female protagonist or women-centered films and stuff like that, where it was always about, men deciding, what women want. There was always that male gaze through which, it was seen. For example, you've seen there is a lot of sex in the show. The way women write about sex and the way men write about sex is very different. Like when you see on screen, sex is done to women, they're either sort of objectified or it's kind of a negative experience. But here, all the women own it. So I think the female narrative, is very important because, we are not underdogs, we are not just victims, and we don't exist only in the context of patriarchy. So I think we are just, every day I don't get up and I think, oh my God, I have to fight patriarchy. I'm just, getting up and, getting on with my, and I think that sort of, front-footed storytelling is what I think makes the female narrative different. And the joy. So I think it's time for us to, tell our own stories.
But let that not intimidate you men folk who are here. It's a delightful show for men to watch. It's the ultimate show for warriors as well. To peek into the lives of women and discover what it is to be one. And we have some marvelous men on the show too, which we haven't talked about. Milind Soman, Pratik Babbar, Neil Bhopalan. They're marvelous, marvelous actors, and they play very, very important roles in the film. Please realize that. That's important so that you get the context right. The men are there. The men are there. Don't worry.
Some great men are there. And to all the actresses, how was the experience shooting for this series in an all-women crew? Was it different from the other films and the other projects that you have done?
I'll have to say this, that when you are in a room full of women, the gaze is very different. And in storytelling, gaze is one of the most important and basic things that we often lack, And a lot of scripts that come our way as actors have a little bit of skewed gaze sometimes, which makes it difficult for us to sort of break the status quo and put the female parts in the narrative, which is as relevant and as authentic. So the writing was already so strong, and everything that happens in our specific arcs, every character is, extremely, it's whole. They all have journeys and graphs vis-a-vis the friendship which is together. So it wasn't very difficult, but it was different because you were in a room full of women who just understood you. It's just a very unsaid sort of sisterhood, and I don't know how to explain it in words because it's something.
No, there was just complete comfort. Like there were times we didn't even realize how comfortable we'd gotten with each other, and suddenly we were like, did we just do that? Did we just say that to each other in a huge room full of women? And also I think, from the point of the script till the execution till today, we've literally, I think all of us, we've held each other's hands, and we have supported each other. We've fought. We have had great times. We have, I mean, it's been such a lovely roller coaster. Like, it's brilliant. Like, I think, and you know, I was just watching we were watching the trailer from the wings over there, and I just saw it all culminating into that thing on the screen, and it was beautiful. Like, and it's not even about men or women. It was just a bunch of very intelligent, hardworking people who got along, and yeah, and just supported each other and collectively made something which I hope you find as special as we do. So